Okay, and welcome to EBA Live, or EBA Tonight Live, I should say. And the weekend review I have, as always, the commish, Texas James Smith with me.
Hey, how's it going, man? Another week still alive, another week still going to the EBA, man. Ready to get this thing started.
Also have a special guest with us. It is the owner of the Toronto Raptors. It is Revolves. How are you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, how are you, man? Just ready to get this started.
Yeah, we are going well. I'm not sure my audio is coming through correctly, so please send messages or Twitch. And as always, Texas James Smith will be keeping an eye on our Twitch feeds with any chats, right? It's usually normal.
Yep.
If you're
I'm here.
joining us for the first time, welcome. This is EBA, where we talk everything EBA, presented by Eliteteamplay.com. This week is amazing. I mean, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk pro or power rankings. We're going to talk where people are standing, where they're setting, where they want to be, how they should be, all the wonderful, great stuff. Also, a little bit of chatter about trades at the end. Let's jump right into everything here. Right out the bat, it seemed like a pretty even week. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but it seemed like anybody could beat anybody this week. When I was going through the power rankings, I seen a lot of ups and downs and lefts and rights. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, James.
Well, starting off the week, man. Starting off the season, we had a nice power ranking, a nice evenly balanced power ranking that we went over very thoroughly. And finishing up the week, it was really not a surprise to see people losing that we didn't think to lose, and see some people winning that we didn't think would win. Because one of the main things we stated in the preseason show that we did was that this season is very balanced with talent, and there's a lot of talent just across the board. So, I mean, it was really to be expected that the week was going to pan out like this.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting some of the guys to go ahead. I mean, to give you an idea from last week's power rankings to this week, of course they were preseason rankings. We weren't that far off. There was 4 people that climbed, that went up spots, and there was 3 people that dropped spots, and there was people that stayed the same. I mean, I know that some of the rankings, of course, changed, but there were some teams that surprised me. I mean, at the beginning of the week, I started writing apology letters out. I mean, what were your thoughts? Were you surprised by anybody major there over in Toronto?
Uh, they were the Grizzlies. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, and I am surprised at the same time. I didn't think Grizzlies would be third. And tied at 6-2. Like between me and the Grizzlies at 6-2, and also the Clippers and the Warriors. I'm not surprised by. But everything else, competition's balanced. It's looking good so far, and a lot of experimental teams. With lines, everyone's experimenting, trying to get their rolls down. So it's a week one. It's been good so far.
Yeah, I mean, let's jump right into it. Like I said, the 4 teams have climbed, 3 teams have dropped. We have 3 teams that stay equal. So let's move along. Let's start with, of course, the number 10 team in the league. Has to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. At number 10, we had them at number 10 going into the season. We have to kind of put them there now. The reason for that, and I can kind of go over what they look like here. I mean, do you say you agree or disagree with that, Texas?
I mean, there's no doubt, man. You have to agree with this one. Now that being said, Trainer's been a good owner throughout the league. He's not a quitter, and I don't expect him to quit now. So, but for them to be as low as they are, I mean, there's been a lot of vibes mixing down there in Oklahoma City. So they've had issues with personalities and such, and I mean that's what happens when you go and spend big money on a lot of guys, which you should, but you just got to know the boundaries and such, and trainer has a problem finding boundaries, as we all know. So it's not much it's really not a shock that he's down there. I did think he'd be a little bit higher, but having JT and Dimes on his team, but I mean, I guess it's a little shocking, but I mean, it's come to be expected.
Yeah, I mean, looking at where they're at for the week, they played New York. They lost to New York 77-63. They lost to the Raptors 88-64. The Raptors beat them. The Pacers beat them 90-74. Golden State, which was a close game, only lost by 4 to Golden State, which is 80-76. Boston, they beat Boston 94-66. That was the only team they beat this week. Memphis beat them 74-53. Los Angeles beat them 78-73. And what's this? We have our first trainer actually gets our first forfeit of the year, week 1. They forfeit to the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, looking at this, your team played them. I don't know which line, your line or the other line, played them. But do you think Oklahoma City belongs at the bottom of this list? And second, do you think some changes are going to happen there in Oklahoma City? Because Trainer's a pretty solid owner, but what can he do? I guess is the question. Looking at it from an owner's spot, I'll leave it over to Revolves. I left a lot open there.
Commish, if you could back me up on this, I did hear that Trainer's trying to force a reschedule because both teams, from his point of view, did not have 5. Is that correct? If you did hear about that?
As far as I know, I haven't heard anything, so it's all up in the air for me. But if they are pushing for a reschedule, the staff hasn't heard anything about it.
Yeah, it's just something that's ownership, but that's just a little point. I can't disagree at all with the Thunder being at 10th, but if it was me, I'd put actually the Knicks at 10th instead, in my opinion, because like I said, I can't disagree with Thunder being at 10th at all because it's obviously good reasoning. Their record's terrible, but the Thunder were having a lot of drama issues with players not wanting to be there anymore, and that led to people not playing, people getting sent down. So when you have all those issues and a Knicks team, who I know a lot of people did not want to be there, but they still showed up to their games, and none of them got sent down yet. It's like kind of like their same roster with the same record. That's why I'd say.
Yeah, well,
Knicks
they're both 1-7. The only reason that I gave
Yeah.
Oklahoma City the 10th instead of the 9th is because the Knicks beat them head to head 77-63
Yeah,
the first
true.
game of the week. So that's the only reason. I mean, yes, the Thunder still won against Boston, which is a little higher in my rankings, but Boston also beat some pretty solid teams. So I had to kind of move things around a bit, and I figured at that record, only winning 1 game and then losing head to head against the Knicks, I had to put them at the 10th there.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think some changes are going to happen this week with the Oklahoma City Thunder?
I've already heard of some changes, but I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about trades yet. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more when we get there. Rumors. Gotcha.
Well, coming from you,
A lot of
Revolves,
rumors.
I mean, there's no way you absolutely 100% know. You've probably just heard. So
Also,
if you want to,
these
go
are all
ahead.
rumors.
I mean,
no.
We'll talk
go
trade
for it.
I'm
rumors
gonna
later.
save it for trade talk.
We'll go.
But
All right.
there is something though. Like I know Trainer always jokes around. He's a jokester and everything, but he does win sometimes. Like, he does have the potential to win, and with someone like JT who could be a leader, and if I do hear the rumors, JT's line could get better. So I do think they're gonna improve.
Yeah, I think that they won't stay at the bottom for very long, not with these other teams out there the way they set. Let's move on to number 9 here. Number 9, I have the New York Knicks dropping 1 spot from last week's power rankings to the 9th spot here. The Knicks are also at 1-7, and let me kind of go over what the Knicks did last week. They did not surprise very many people at all. In fact, I'm surprised to see them there because I did have them a little further up in the preseason rankings, and we discussed and moved them down. But all in all, their schedule played out like this. They lost to they beat Oklahoma City right off the bat, 77-63. Then they lost to the Los Angeles Clippers, beat them 90-73. The Toronto Raptors beat them 71-65. The Boston Celtics beat them 56-49. Then to turn around and Cleveland Cavaliers beat them 78-66. The Pacers 101-60. That game hurt. Memphis Grizzlies 87 beat them to 73 New York, and then Indiana Pacers beat them 83-59. So there's a lot of beating them going on this week with New York. I don't know what they're trying to get together, and I got MIA offense. I'm going to go to you, Revolves, because you're in the same division as them. I mean, looking at their roster, the reason why I say MIA offense, there's very few games they barely scored over 70 points, and even more games they scored under 49, 60, 59. I mean, those playing against Western teams, and you have this same battle. you have to score more points, and you have to probably, of course, play better defense there because you can't let these teams score high and you're not being able to score. Is their offense just missing right now as a whole? Not only that, but I actually checked online and we don't have stats for a whole line, so I don't even know if their whole offense is missing. But what do you think's going on over there in New York?
Um, Hayden decided to take a risk on a line that know each other and mostly play pro-am, and so far it is not working out. And then you have the other line who have some talent, like Insane Legend, Hayden, Return of the King, Outtaker. Those are the type of people that have talent definitely on the line that could do something, but they have no chemistry, no offense for it to work, and I don't think they have any Derrick Roses. People are leaving Derrick Rose open, and that's getting Porzingis getting trapped, Melo getting trapped, and without someone that could do something with Derrick Rose, it's really hard to run an offense with the Knicks.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, Derrick Rose, but I still think your power forward has to put up better stats than what I'm seeing. I also noticed when I was looking through the stats and doing my breakdown here for the power rankings, yes, I put a lot of time into this, probably more than I should. I noticed that Return of the King only was able to play one game this week. I'm not sure if he had some issues or not, but you're paying that kind of money for Return of the King. He's got to show up. I mean, what are your thoughts, Texas?
Well, as of let me get the stats thing cleared up real quick. So you told me this, I brought it up to my guys that look through the stats. You know, the staff members that do that. And I got some info in my staff chat that Hayden has had issues signing in for the last few days.
Okay.
So they just got that fixed. So I'm sure his stats will be coming in soon. So we just took care of that. But as a Return of the King, if it is true that he's only played one or whatever the case may be, that's ridiculous. You're getting paid all this money. You should definitely show up. Somebody has put trust into you.
It could be
to
the
do
stats
certain
thing.
things.
I mean, it could be the issue where he could be signing. So it could be my fault that I only seen one
Right.
name on there, and I thought, wow, he only played one game this week. Although many other teams had, or many other, which I believe is on the same line as Outtaker, and those guys had 4 games in. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
assuming,
this
but
this is one of the reasons why we made the GM spot cost money, is because with him not being able to sign in, I believe they wouldn't return his GM, so
I
he
thought
needs
he
to
got
step
him
up
in
and put the
bidding.
stats in.
Did he
I
not get
mean,
him in
if you,
bidding?
I think I mean I know he got a GM. I'm like I'm checking it up right now. He got Return of the King.
Oh, it's his
Return of
GM.
the King
Okay.
is his GM.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And so
there could be some family issues there too, or something. I mean, life does get in the
well, I
way.
mean,
So
when you have issues, your GM should step in and put the stats in for you. That's what they're there for.
yeah,
And this is one of the main reasons why we put money on the GM. Is that way people can't just get on a team play without having to worry about anything as a GM thing, because it's just a free player, So we put money on them to make sure that if they're just not doing shit, then at least they have to cost something for the team. But as of the gameplay, man, 1-7. You got a savage squad as we've seen in the past. As long as you got your guys there, I mean, you got Porzingis, Noah. I mean, you got a nice 2K team. To be 1-7 is atrocious. I mean, they need to really step that game up a little bit and get some more dubs, because I mean, 1-7 with Porzingis on your team, that shouldn't happen. I've heard, I mean, I said that you should trade for Woody because at least he could score with Porzingis. So we should that he should probably think about doing something like that. But he needs to do something, because 1-7 is just not gonna cut it.
I'm sure that they'll figure out something. Like I say, he's a new owner. Going into this, I imagine Hayden Land's having a little bit of struggles, like you said, trying to find a point guard. Like Revolve said, trying to get his on. So I don't count them out yet. I expect New York to be a little higher than what they are. The next group, and I say group because they're all 3 and 5. It was very difficult to go through and look at the schedules and +1, -1, blah blah blah, up and in. And you could really argue that this team beat that team beat this team. But the next group of people here was very difficult. So we're going to jump into the more controversial, I guess, saying, because I mean both these guys are 1-7. You can argue 10 and 9, but 9 and 10, whichever way you want. And like I said, the only reason they got the heads up was because of the win that they had over OKC. So let's jump one here and go to number 8. Number 8 is Boston Celtics. Now these guys, when I first started out the week, I started writing an apology letter. I mean, they come out, they beat the Grizzlies 76-73, beat us. I mean, beat our second line 109-65. Just total slap of the Portland Trailblazers there. Turn around, barely lost to the Clippers at 65-68. That was Sunday. So Sunday, I pull out my pen and pad like these guys are for real. Like I had them way down. I think I had them 9 last in the rankings, and now they're up 1 spot to number 8, which isn't a big jump. But if they would have kept this going forward, it would have been really, I mean, amazing. They then play Monday against 56-49 against the Knicks. They beat the Knicks. They lose to the Thunder. This is what really hurt them in the ranking, 94-66. They turn around and they lose to Cleveland 53-69. They turn around and they lose to Toronto 94-70, and then they forfeited, which hurt them at the end of the week against Golden State. They probably were going to lose the game anyway, but still the forfeit this early in the season. We already have 2 forfeits. Definitely not excited about that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I mean, looking at that going through, would you say they're probably one of the weaker 3 and 5 teams that are out there right now, or do they show, and I have here Sparks with a question mark, do they show signs of sparks that could really be something? Texas, what do you feel?
I'm glad you came to me first. But my thing is that they have everyone else knows what the deal is. These guys have a lot of money and a lot of personality on one line. I mean, for one, you go from having Remix as your owner, Money as your GM, and then you pick up Woody in the bidding, which that's a lot. That's a lot of personality for one team, just on those guys alone. And I mean, what it looks like to me on the week was that they went and threw their big money first and started slipping off when the later money came into the games. But so that's what it looks like for me. If they don't fix it, which it looks like they're gonna, but if they don't fix it, then they're gonna have issues. But and so that's what I think about the team itself. But I got some fire to throw here. So in the preseason, Remix wanted to start coming at my squad, talking about we'll be lucky if we make playoffs, you know, and if we do, we'll lose or whatever. And so he called my line out. He was like, "Yo, make sure you show up in the game Tuesday. Make sure you're here to play." So what do Mike gets in there. He changes the schedule around. He makes sure we're there Tuesday, and we slapped the shit out of the team they threw at us. Slapped the dog shit out of them, and then Remix jumps in the chat and starts talking about, oh, well, if you would have played me, we'd have beat you. Bruv, you have owner. I mean, you're an owner. Do the schedule as you like, but don't call somebody out and then not show up. That just, I mean, come on, man. If your team's gonna take the L, you might as well do it for them. That's all I gotta say on that. But it was just a mess.
Okay.
But be there next time.
Moving on to Revolts. Now, there were some question marks on a lot of these guys on the team. I had, anyway, going in. I had, Rondo Island, By Any Means Mo. They're good Pro-Am guys. I know this. They play well. But there were some question marks. First of all, Rondo Island and By Any Means Mo totally squashed any questions I had. I think By Any Means Mo put up 34 points the first game, 39 points the second game, 21 in his fourth game. He was averaging a double-double almost every game he played except the last. 26 points averaging, 9 assists average for the week. I mean, that's damn good numbers to put up with Boston, dude. For you saying that all the money was spent on one line, this guy is not big money. I mean, he's a $1 million. So, I mean, first I want to know your thoughts on some of these big money guys compared to these no money guys with putting up stats like that. And then second, does Boston deserve to be at the 8th spot and why?
All right. Well, Boston being at the 8th spot, I think if they didn't have any problems with players not showing up, they would definitely not be 8th, and I wouldn't want to give them 8th at all. But just because of that, I do agree with them being at 8th. Now, with this By Any Means Mo dude, I didn't know him, but I guess he's a Pro-Am player. He's been putting up great numbers, and I never played against him yet, so I don't really know how he plays like. But He's playing like a great Isaiah Thomas. He's scoring. Now the thing about him is what I've learned in the group chats is his attitude. I don't know if he's like that in games, but he is so cocky. Now it's only been week 1, and you're already cocky in the group chat talking about playing 2v2s for money. So I don't know, man. And that Rondo Island dude, when we played him, he didn't show up. So I think Celtics do have good 500K players, better than what you could get. And I do feel like Remix and them could bounce back, but that's my opinions on those two new players.
I mean, looking at Rondo Island, 14.5 as points he's averaging. I'm not saying he's blowing up, but he's doing better. I mean, he's doing his money's worth easy at 500K. I mean, you can't expect much more than, I mean, a mil. I'm sorry, he's at a mil. But even at a mil, I mean, you're scoring over 10 points. You're getting 8 assists. You're averaging. I mean, you're making good shots. I think he's about 50%, a little more than for field goals made attempts. He's doing what he was put there to do. I mean, there can't be that many stars on Boston. You got to have some role players. But I was surprised because again, I was looking at him going, "Oh, I don't know what this guy's going to do. He's at a mill. I know he's a good player. The Island guys I know from old VFL days, so I expected more from them. But at that spot they're at, I mean, you agree with that spot at 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. That was a real quick answer. Moving on. Let's go to 7 here. 7 I have staying at the same spot we had them in the power rankings. The Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers are 3 and 5, as well as Boston, as well as Cleveland, and as well as Portland. And the games that they played this week really had me kind of stumped. I mean, they were close in a lot of games. This is what I know from from Portland. The games they lost, other than the one game against Golden State, which Golden State's blowing out everybody, so that doesn't count. They lost one game by 3, another game by 7, another game by 7, another game by 1. So they're not. They held us all the way down to the end as Portland. I say us, mine and my line of Portland Trailblazers. But 75-76, they lost to the Clippers by 1 point. This is the game they got blown out with Golden State, 62-83. The Thunder, they beat 90-74. 69-76, they lost to Portland. But it wasn't. It looks a lot worse than what it was. That's by 7 points, but it wasn't. It was a really close down to like that last few couple minutes there, and we just kind of took away with it. 78-85, they lost to you guys in Toronto. 101-60, they beat the Knicks. 87-84, they lost to Cleveland, and then they beat the Knicks again at 83-59. Now, a lot of heat's been given to these guys about, oh, you traded up to get the Pacers, blah, 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 blah. I mean, Revolves, I know you've heard other shows and you said, yeah, that's crazy for trading up to get a team that you could have got lower. But looking at this, I mean, are the Pacers going to be a threat in the league, or are they going to stay right around that bottom 3 or 4 spots?
Honestly, and James is going to get hurt when I say this, I do think the Pacers are better than the Cavs. At the moment, the Cavs roster, because when I look at the Pacers are a nice squad. I know they traded up and they had a little conflict with them two talking about which team to select. Pacers are still a good squad. Now they're not 5th pick or 4th pick worthy, in my opinion.
Yes,
they probably should have just stayed back. But it's a squad that can definitely put in work. I do like that line of Realist at the 5 and Drew at the 3. With people who could actually play their roles around them. So I do like that line. When they played us, they gave us a tough game in overtime. And then the other line I haven't really seen play, but if Abyss, who I know is a good leader, can put in work and get his line to win games consistently, I do think they could be really tough in the East.
Yeah, I got them. I say minor tweaks with the question mark, because looking through here, looking at the stats, they brought a lot of guys that I didn't expect them to compete with on the West. They brought them down to, fourth quarter, finishing out the game. So I have minor tweaks here, because I think with a few minor tweaks, they could definitely move up. I even think, 5 or higher. What are your thoughts? First of all, he just kind of shot out and said their team's better than yours. And then second of all, is 7 the right spot for the Pacers?
Well, let me take this shot real quick. If their team was better than us, they would have beat us. For one, which they didn't.
Which line?
Drew, we played Drew and
Yeah, we
Realist.
played Drew line too. Yeah, they played some tough. They weren't bum hunting. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. They played some tough lines.
No, it was a close game, but we pulled it out, man. They were smacking us early, but it took us a second to get going, and then we came back and stuck it to them. But they're a good team. I'm really surprised the way they play with the Pacers is really because I played Drew and them, and to see Realist do what he does at the 5 was kind of shocking. I mean, he didn't score crazy or rebound crazy, but just the way they play, it's a lot like Fab and them. They'll spread the floor, bring the 5 out to the corner, move it, like just clear the paint out, and then just run a few cuts every now and then, and just sit out and shoot. Really wasn't nothing crazy, but they make it work. They play well. Do I think they should be up in these spots above the Cavs? No, because obviously we beat them and we beat their best line. But I mean, they're a good squad. I'm really shocked to see how well they played with the team.
I'll explain why when we get to the Cavs, buddy.
I thought the team was a lot worse than like original, but like after watching them play, they're really not that bad. The Pacers are pretty good. They're a surprisingly good team.
I'm expecting them to climb. They equaled out exactly where we put them. There was one of the teams that equaled out the same as we put them in preseason rankings, and they're right there. And they're arguably that group. You can arguably argue to move up one, down one, whatever with that group of all that are 3 and 5 for the week, or but you just. It's hard to do when you're sitting there looking through at some of these games. They're close games, and that's what really kept them where they're at for the week. But moving on to the next spot here, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers down, the biggest drop of our preseason rankings, down 4 spots to number 6. And let me explain. People are like, what the fuck, question mark, because that's exactly what I have there. What the fuck, question mark, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know what's going on. Maybe James can shed some light on this. But looking at their schedule last week, they L to Portland Trailblazers, 85-77, and that was their top line against the Portland's top line as well. 75-81, they got beat by the Grizzlies. 64-68, they lose to Golden State. Now that's a close game, but Golden State and Cleveland, I think, match up the best. Anybody matches up. Cleveland matches up the best against Golden State. Now, that's not an excuse, but that is low scoring, and that is good defense at 64 and 68. Cleveland Cavaliers, 68. They lost to the Clippers at 84. They turn around and they beat the New York Knicks, 78-66. They beat Boston, 69-53. They beat the Pacers, 87-84. And they lost to the Raptors, 79-89. So when you're saying, is this where they belong, let me explain why they're here first. The teams that they lost to are all above them in the rankings. I mean, this was probably one of the easier spots to put Cleveland because of this situation. All the teams they beat are below them. So they're right about where I feel they should have been. I'm going to go right to Texas, and I know you're going to defend them because that's your teams, that's your boys. I told you last week that we need to humble you with your team because you are all over them, which I understand. They're your team, they're your boys, whatever. But down 4 spots with the Cleveland Cavaliers, dude. What the fuck is going on in Cleveland?
Well, sit back, because it's going to be a second. What the issue was, again, just like last season, we have availability problems. And our second line, they played one game this week with their full line. That one game, you just won. And it's a struggle to watch that, man. It sucks sitting back and watching your teammates not show up to games when you make it 100%. Like you try so hard to make it to every one of your games you can make, and then to sit there and watch other people just not show up sucks. Which I like on Sunday, Misty wasn't there, but he had some real emergency stuff that he had to take care of, which is understandable. So I'm not dogging on them for what they had to do. You know what I mean? Because that's always you're always gonna have stuff, and your personal life's always gonna matter. So that's what happened with the second line. Is they only got to play one game, and it was actually against Toronto. In the last game, which was a very close game, and they were actually beating Toronto when Toronto came back and beat them. But my line, everybody knows, we lost 2 on Sunday, and it was 100% on me. my connection was spazzing out. I mean, I couldn't, and it was the 2K servers were just on the fritz.
Yeah, it was all week.
All
week
Sunday.
I had bad games, and I never had bad games. So with the lag is what I mean. So the servers, I don't know whether they're pulling them aside and already setting them up for 2K18 and taking them down for 2K17, but they're shit. I don't know what it was, man.
But on Sunday, it was so bad for me. I mean, I couldn't do nothing, and I appreciate my guys for not giving me a hard time about it. But I was in the crowd the whole time. Like it was terrible.
Now I have to give you shit though, and you have to understand this. And the only reason I have to give you shit, not because you're not my boy, not because of the situation, but if I'm any kind of host that gives anybody shit, I have to go after the guy that's my co-host. You were telling me last week, well, we should be number 1. We're that good. My team's the best, and Mike Mann's the best point guard. You are number 6 with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That has to be some sort of humbling. Servers aside.
No. Humble me? Hell no. You know why? Dude, because the East is weak and we the best. The problem is, and once they fix this connection issue and our second line starts showing those other games, we good. But on Sunday, it's all me. I had to go for Caro, and that's hard enough to do. And then when you're lagging on top of that, it's like terrible.
Okay.
But we came back, and when we came back and you know, throughout the week when the shit cleared up, man, we won both our games. We played Drew, Realist beat them. Played the Celtics, beat them, no problems at all. Smacked shit up both of them. The Pacers game was closer on the score than what it really was, but that's whatever. Raptors think they safe, which is cool. They need to think that, but it's not going to be for long because, you know.
Before I pass it over to Revolves, before I do that, now
we was there all year last year.
Before I pass it over, it is the first week, so I'm going to give you that bye. However, again, you better be lucky you're in the East, because that shit would not fly in the West. You would be the worst team.
No, the West is lucky they in the West because we in the East.
You have
that's all I got to say. On that.
This week, you lost to almost every West team you went up against. That's you gotta. I mean, you got Cleveland. You gotta compete. Secondly, let me ask you this, and this is something that I just got sent a message I have to throw out there, and I'm not picking on this guy. I actually like this guy. Dog ass Melo. Someone just sent me this and said, "Dude, check his stats." So I said, okay, I'm sitting in here. I'm going to check this guy's stats playing on LeBron James. 14.75 current season average at LeBron James. I mean, not only that, but you have Sorcy, which isn't, I'm not saying the kid's annoying as hell. I agree with you. But he's skilled. He is skilled. His attitude. Dirty Falcon sitting on the bench. Sorcy on the bench. You got to start thinking, okay, these guys going to start rotating into the roster? Are you going to use those guys for trade bait? Are you going to get some active people that you feel comfortable with? I mean, something's got to change in Cleveland. You agree or disagree with that?
And see, this is the issue, man, is that people panic, man. And that's one thing I got to give Mike. Mike he's not a panic guy. He's not going to make stupid moves, stupid quick. And so somebody might have sent you that message that some little whiny ass, you know, crybaby somewhere doesn't like Melo, okay? And but Mike's not the panic type. We're not gonna go and do some stupid shit just because somebody's like, oh well, his stats are bad. If we all played for stats, then nobody would get wins. We played for wins, and we had a bad week with some connection issues and some people not showing. But
so next week you're gonna defend and say that he plays his role well in the line that you're playing because he's on your line. So. You're gonna
100%, man.
Okay. All right.
He's a great player. Man.
Well, I got to give Revolve a chance because we've talked enough.
Anytime you have Mike, man, on your team, he's gonna get the majority of the shots because Mike's a savage. So whoever plays that next role needs to understand that he's gonna be second because.
I'm gonna let you out on a secret. This is just I couldn't help myself. We were sitting there playing, you guys, and I was pretty sure it was your line. Yeah, it was Mike Man we were playing, and I don't know how many times I heard Fab say, and this is supposed to be the best point guard in the league. I don't know how many times I heard him say that. So I don't know if Mike Mann's struggling to get on his game with him or he's just, it's a setup. But of course, it's week 1. I agree.
No,
don't
it's
panic.
Funny.
Don't
it's
panic.
It's funny that comes from a guy that just quit because he couldn't get his numbers right. It's so funny how somebody like that
just throwing some shade. Like I said, if I don't give you shit for being on here, I have to
somebody that
somehow.
Quit because their numbers were absolutely shit is gonna throw shade at somebody for having slightly dipped numbers. Seems a little suspect to me. I don't know.
Moving on to Revolves. tell us why you think Cleveland Cavaliers deserve 6, or do they deserve lower? Do they deserve higher? And tell us your thought and your view, because you're in the East. You're going to compete with them throughout the year. And tell me.
Well, I'm gonna hurt James Smith because I got all this talk to say about the Cavs.
Now, Mike Mann is a great player. He is their best player on the team. He will put up stats. He will get buggies, but he is not a god like how James Smith is putting him. Whenever I hear James Smith talk about Mike Mann, all I hear is all I think about is like a god in his opinion. He's not. You got to chill with that, James. He can't carry a team to victory every game. Now, when you look at the three of LeBron, of dog ass Melo with Mike Mann, he talks about his stats not being high because Mike Mann runs the offense. Okay, you have LeBron James. Why are you being so soft with LeBron? You got to get the ball, you got to be aggressive sometimes, and you got to be a leader. Even though Mike Mann's there, you still got to be LeBron. And there's something that I wanted to point out. I know it was just a pickup game yesterday that I played with Shump and Eastern and all them against Mizark and them. But we tried the Cavs, and the Cavs are such a great team. Like there should be no excuses why you should be doing this bad with the Cavs. I know you have leg issues. I know you have availability issues. But even with that second line that we played yesterday as my team, like I was sitting there like, how are we losing to them in the first half? Second half, we abuse the zone. They are ass. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry to tell you. If you keep that line together, you will not win, and you will not get to the playoffs. That's something. But that's the Cavs.
I think there needs to be changes as well. But like you said, Mike Mann's a patient man. He's going to wait back. I do have to say,
he's a smart man too. Yeah,
he is smart. He's going to wait and make sure he makes the right decisions. He doesn't want to trade away.
Can y'all tell me a time where we haven't made playoffs?
I'm not saying you're not.
It's gonna be hard judging by how this is looking.
You're in the East right now. You're the second best team in the East, right?
Tell me a season.
I mean,
agreed. Yep.
I mean, you are, because
we're the best team in the East. We just ain't got the best record right now.
You definitely
that'll
are.
change.
I mean,
we definitely are.
But I do have to give a shout out to my boy Mags. I don't know where his fourth game stats are, but he's averaging, double a game, and that's not a. I was giving him crap in many parties about how he's not worth the money you guys put on him, but I mean he's averaging a double and doing his job. He just needs to get that line, I think, together, and you guys would be. Enough about Cleveland. Let's move on. Portland Trailblazers. Now we can talk a little bit about my team. Up one spot at number 5. Expectations with the question mark. I can tell you personally we are not meeting the expectations I set. There's a couple things I have here. One, there's got to be some changes on both lines. Second line just is not producing. And we're not producing as well. We still lost 2 games as a first line. There's some meshing together different styles that need to happen. We have a brand new center, Evidence, that plays with us. We also have a power forward who, Zabriel, which is really good, had a really good one game, and then he's kind of fell off the last few games. Not his fault, but there's got to be some changes that goes on in Portland, and that's coming from out of Portland. You ask what's going on. Expectations, question mark, no, we're definitely not hitting expectations in Portland. Right now, I think we're setting roughly 4th or 5th. I mean, we're just above OKC in the West, which is not where we want to be. So, have Cleveland Cavaliers. They won. Their Portland Trailblazers beat Cleveland 85-77. Lost to Boston Celtics. That second line got blowed out by Boston 109-65. Then Memphis. We beat Memphis 95-78. Beat the Pacers 76-69. Lost to the Clippers 59-61, and that was close all the way up to the 4th there, and ended up losing the game. Lost to the Toronto Raptors 67-75. Lost to Golden State 94-73. Now that was tied going into the 4th, and in the 4th they scored 31. We scored 12. Again, closing out the 4th is difficult. Los Angeles Clippers 102-61 on Wednesday night. The second line lost as well. So there's some big gaps there. You can see the close games. You kind of know who's playing those games, and you can see the huge gaps in Portland. We'll go right back over to Revolves. Up one spot at number 5, Portland. Are they meeting expectations, or were you expecting them lower, higher? Where do you expect them?
To be honest, I gotta hand it to the Blazers for them being at 5th, because I did not think they would be there. I thought they'd be like 7th or 8th, before the season started. I know the second line isn't performing as well. Like when we played and I was watching the stream, my team started playing around too much and they started coming back. But Fab, when he comes, like Fab is one of the best players in the EBA, and a lot of people know that. But at the same time, when you don't got great players around him as well that can help him out, because Fab's getting doubled every time. Like he gets the ball, he gets doubled. You get the ball out of his hands, that's facts. Um, I think they could have been a deadly line if he had everyone around him that could do their job like well, like very well. You have some players who could, but other players who can't. But he can't do it all by himself. I think as the season continues, I don't think that they're gonna stay fifth. That's my opinion. I'm gonna keep doubting them. I hope they prove me wrong. Sorry, SMN. I know you're trying your best over there too, and I hope you guys do great. But that's just my opinion.
Who are you giving a shout out to? Sorry, who?
Shout out.
You said
you talking about?
sorry. Sorry, me. I'm doing my best. I'm not playing the 2. Let me clear. I'm not playing the 2. And I put up 18 points my first game and 14 points my last game. Didn't do well in the middle games, but I think I took like 3 shots one game, and the other game I took like 6 or 7. I didn't take very many shots at all. The 2 games that we lost, 2 games we won, I did pretty well. So yes, you're right. The players around him have to step up and play better. For 500K, I'm averaging over 10 points. I'm doing my fucking job on that line. It's the point of trying to figure out where players are going to be, where players are going to go. I don't know how many times we had to say, spread the floor, guys, spread the floor. I know how Fab likes to play, so it's easy for me to say, hey, spread the floor. We weren't picking up on the picks. We're getting killed on the pick and rolls. It's bad team chemistry, and I think that's fixable, especially if you make a couple moves, which I know we have this already. And we need to continue, I think, make a couple moves. I think the opposite needs to happen for Evidence. He needs to panic. You can't have somebody like Fab on your line and not panic. He's got to make changes, and he's got to make changes now. Texas James Smith, what are your thoughts? Portland Trailblazers at number 5.
I'm not mad at them at number 5 at the end of the week 1, but they I don't know, man. That's a tough one because it's one of those things where do you make changes and fuck up the flow that you might have already have going on and that they're building, and then you have to start over with that, or do you keep it the same and just like hope it pans out through, hope the chemistry starts flowing a little better.
Well, the easy fix
it's give
is
and
to
take.
get guys that Fab plays with and knows how to play with and knows how to play with Fab. That's the easiest fix. Like, that's the easiest fix to go. Whether or not the owners will give those up, I guess it's on them.
Yeah, that seems easier said than done because guys like Shump and guys like JT and guys like, those guys are in this league and they know who his guys are, and they're just not gonna. I mean, if anything comes up with that, they're obviously gonna have a say in something. So it's a lot easier said than done. They're obviously not gonna let that happen. And people like Trainer, so I just don't see them taking off unless they do something like that. Unless they but it's rough, man. It's give or take with them. I mean, it's you can drop a rock and see where it lands. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's I agree with you. 5 is about middle roll where they're at right now. And you could really argue with them to be below even Cleveland or maybe Indianapolis with that loss to Boston. Although
you can always argue that.
You can, even though they beat Cleveland and they beat Portland, but still, I mean, you could argue one way or the other with this group of guys. Like I said, going into number 4 here, I have at number 4 Toronto Raptors, and they stay the same spot we had them at the beginning of the season. Toronto Raptors look really good this week. I would say they were probably the better group out of the standings that were there for the East. And I mean, they 6-2. They're leading their division in the East, so they're definitely the better group of the East. The way that their schedules look here, the way that they looked this week, 69-90 against Golden State. Golden State's just hard to go up, man. They just got so many good shooters, it's ridiculous. Oklahoma City, they beat 88-64. They beat the Knicks 71-65. They lost to Memphis in a close game at 79-71. Indiana Pacers, they beat 85-78. They beat Portland 75-67. They also beat the Boston Celtics 94-70, and then they finished the week beating the Cleveland Cavaliers 89-79. So they've proven with their record this week that they are where they should be. And since I went right to Texas for his response, I have here slip or climb. Of course, you're going to say Toronto Raptors are going to climb. Are you where you want to be at leading the East?
I'm happy with how week 1 went. There were different things that happened with our team of people not being comfortable with each other and people not showing up. Well, people showed up, but there was something that happened the first day. Someone didn't show up, and a bunch of problems with people being comfortable with each other, like I said. But there are going to be new lines posted for our team next week because we are trying something new with Corrupted at point guard now. I like I said, I didn't think I'd have to do that, but people just don't want to play with each other. So got to separate them and have new lines, and we got to try that out next week. What else? I really think we should have beat the Grizzlies, but Ramo fucked us up. And I didn't think that would happen. Marcus Gasol, Melo B. Ballin, who's diming him good and shit. And I gotta hand it to the Grizzlies. They beat us in the 4th, so I hope for next week we do climb up. Fuck the Cavs. And yeah.
So he mentioned fuck the Cavaliers over on Texas James Smith.
Oh, well.
Cavaliers. Now, I don't want you to respond to that. What I do want you to respond, slip or climb.
I'm not.
Currently, they did pull their own weight this week. Like I said, there's only a couple games they lost, and it was close games other than the Golden State. I mean, Golden State, they got blown out. But the other game that they did lost against Memphis was a close game, 8 points. Looks like they pulled away in the 4th and couldn't hang with them. Do you see Toronto being your biggest threat in the East? And, I mean, what do you think 4 is a good spot for them?
Toronto's the only threat in the East. They're the ones we got to worry about. And obviously, he's going to say they had a good week for them because we lost a few that we shouldn't have lost. So obviously, he thinks that's a good week. But moving forward in the season, they're going to have a good season. Just looking at what they've done.
We're definitely going to be number 1, by the way. Sorry for that statement.
I didn't get to play these guys, but they're definitely better than the Eastern guys that we did play. So from what I've seen, anyway. But next time we see them on the schedule, we'll definitely try to see if we can get in there and show them who's really number 1 in the East. But as of the rest of the East, man, I just don't see anybody being able to mess with them or us. I think it's going to be a 1-2 throughout the rest of the season. Just like you said, it's week 1. Every team is going through some do some chemistry building workouts and having to mesh with here, change up this, change up that, see what this works, trade these guys. And every team has to do that this week, majority. So, yeah, I don't see them dropping a whole lot, maybe a spot. But besides that, man, they're expected to see in the playoffs. And like I've said, every season, that last season, this season, every week, Revolves is a good owner, regardless of his stinky breath sometimes because he talks a lot of shit. But he's gonna get his team to the playoffs.
Yeah, I brush my teeth every
one
day.
way or another. So
and really, there's a lot of trial and error in the first week, and you realize
there is absolutely.
So I expect Revolves to be up there, at least make the playoffs. I've got you solid for the playoffs. I got Revolve solid for the playoffs, and then that third seat is really up to grabs for whoever wants it between Boston and
Pacers, Celtics, playoffs.
Yeah.
Fuck the Cavs.
Okay, so I mean, but it's there. This is a slip. People's got to take advantage. So I agree with you. Let's move on. I think they will stay right about in that same spot. Let's go to the number 3, the Grizz. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies and Toronto Raptors had the same record, 6-2. The only thing that pushed really the Grizz on top of that, and I'm going to go through here and explain, they're up 2 spots from where we initially had them. So they jumped from, I believe, the 5th spot now to the 3rd spot here. They are here because of the head-to-head because it was pretty even when I was doing my plus and minus. The only thing that pushed them one step above Toronto is that head-to-head. And in my initial, I had you guys above, but it kind of Grizz push you back because they beat you there. And really, when the Grizzlies started out the week, I thought, oh my God, they're in trouble. And then out of nowhere, they just got this insurgent, and I think it's called Let's Get It Boy. But let's look at the schedule here. Memphis Grizzlies against the Celtics, they lost 73-76, which, again, that's why I was like, whoa, they're losing to the same team the other team's beating. But they did beat Cleveland 81-75. They did lose to Portland at 95-78. And then they just pretty much go on this huge winning streak here, and they beat Toronto Raptors. What keeps them here at number 3 is they beat the Golden State Warriors 79-65. Talk about defense. It was definitely in that game. Hold Warriors under 65 points, or under 70 or 80 points is amazing in the game. They beat Oklahoma City 74-53. They then beat New York 87-73 to end the week. Because Oklahoma City forfeited their last game of the week here. So they did have Oklahoma City twice this week. A little bit of gift on the schedule, it looks like. But Memphis Grizzlies at number 3, up 2 spots. Surprise, question mark. Are you surprised by this at all, Texas James Smith?
I'm not surprised that they're doing well. Because with Caro as an owner, that's expected for the team to do well. We say it every time we talk. Caro's a great owner, blah, 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 all this stuff. And, he has enough people patting him on the back that nobody else needs help doing it. It could have been a little more vulgar than that, but we'll keep it patting on the back for the show. So moving on from that, there's a lot to still be seen from the Grizzlies. They did have a really good week this week, which was shocking how well they did. So for them to beat Golden State, I gotta go to Crow, because the man said in the offseason, it don't matter who the fuck we have, we'll beat Golden State. And I said in the last show, I better not see them lose to Golden State, and they beat them. So, hats off to him for that, for actually doing it. And it's a Shump team, which is a better team than Golden State had last year. So, well, I see good things for Grizzlies, and as long as Let's Get It Boy don't quit and Caro stays on Gasol, they're gonna be hard as hell to beat, man. And I gotta apologize to Caro, because I was suspect about the Grizzlies, but man, Gasol is a dog. That man is a beast. So I apologize for making fun of his pick and all that, and just trying to say he tried to sneak in the East and all that shit. But now that I see them play, he picked the Grizzlies for the Grizzlies, and good for him. I won't doubt the Crow no more.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Crow's line that played against Golden State. I don't know who played that. I want to check now because it's bothering me. But to switch it over to Revolves, I'm going to check that stats. Up 2 spots from number 5, 3, the Grizzlies. They barely got past you guys and beat you guys this week. They slipped up a little bit in the beginning, which is expected, especially playing with the Grizzlies. You got to kind of know your role a little bit. Any surprises there? Were you surprised at all to see the Grizz where they're
at? Yeah, I didn't think the Grizzlies would be top 5, actually. I thought they'd probably be like 6th or something like that. But Melo and Let's Get It Boys line went 4-0. They did their job. I don't know what happened to Crow's line, but they went 2-2, which I'm not really that surprised about. Even though Crow's a good player, he's a smart owner, blah, 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 all that. And they got a good line with Easy Money and them. I still don't think that they could do all that with the Grizzlies. What's it called? What was I about to say? I don't know if Ramos going to continue to play EBA. People saying, hey, he might quit. He did it before. And you never know. He might. But I think if he continues to play throughout the whole season and get to playoffs, I think his line will be able to do some work, because they're just defensively great. And I learned that myself by playing them. So that's what I got to say about them for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the game here with Golden State, and I said I would look. It wasn't Crow's line that went against him. It was Let's Get It Boy, and it could be for whatever reason. But, I mean, Let's Get It Boy put up 29 points and went 10 for 20. Melo fed him 17 assists. Or not him, but fed people 17 assists. But If I was Montana FDU in
Fed
this
him.
game, if I was Montana FDU in this game and shot 8 for 8 and scored 17 points, I would be like, please give me the ball a little more coming out of this game. So you can try to shut down Let's Get It Boy, but it looks like the rest of this line is a solid line, and I think Crow did a good job putting that team together and then letting him and his boys run the other team. And I'm sure they'll figure out whatever flaws they have and fix those very carefully. So I don't think I have a problem with the I'm not surprised that the Grizzlies are at 3. I'm a little surprised by the pick of the Grizzlies, but I'm not surprised that they're, top 4 or 5. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So moving on to number 2 now. This is going to be, I can already hear it. Ice, how do you have Golden State at number 2? They're on a different level. And that's what I have, different level question mark. Yes, they're on a different level. Yes, they are beating the hell out of teams. They lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, which we're not expected to lose to. The games that they played against who I have at number 1 were very, very close. Like within points. I watched the stream and I was like, oh, and back and forth the whole game, which is really fun to watch a lot of EBA games, and thank you for the guys that are streaming. So let's talk a little bit about Golden State because of where I have them at the number 2 spot. You can argue they should be number 1, and they should be, but I think I hold them, and I said different level question mark because I hold them to a little better expectation probably than I hold anybody else because I've played against them. And it doesn't matter who players you have over there. It does, but it doesn't. They're still a strong-ass team. Like we always argue they're probably the best ever, but they played against Toronto 90-69. They beat them. Indiana Pacers 83-62. 68-64 against Cleveland. That was a good matchup. 80-76. They beat Oklahoma City. 79-65. They lost to the Grizz, and that's their only loss on the season. Or only loss so far, and I expected them to go undefeated, so maybe that's why I have them down a spot at number 2. Los Angeles Clippers 85-90, and that was won within the last minute of the game, if not a few seconds. I was watching that game, and they just barely pulled away to win the game. 94-73 against Portland. Boston, of course, they took a forfeit. Boston forfeited, and Golden State won that game. So that forfeit kind of hurt them a little bit, only because I wanted to see how they matched up, and I was hoping Boston would send their best line at Golden State. You're not sending your best line at Golden State. You got to catch their off line, and you got to beat them. That's the only way to give these guys L's, even their first line, to catch them slipping up. Golden State at number 2. What do you think, Texas James Smith? Is that they're on a different level? Are they there? They're down one spot from number 1.
I like putting them at number 2, and it's not because of what they did; it's because of what the number 1 team did. And we'll talk about that when we get there. But Golden State, the 1 or 2, either or. I mean, neither one of these teams can go back and forth. But Shump is doing a great job, man. Obviously, you have Golden State. He's put together a great team. Guys he knows will play. He had a little slip in the bidding, which we talked about a little last week of what happened there. But, from the scores and stuff, it's looking like they're playing really good defense. So if you can keep that up with Golden State, the offense is gonna come. The offense is there. I mean, you hardly have to do shit to get the offense going. So as long as you stick with playing good defense, there's nowhere to go but to the ship with this team. And I mean, already they're hard to beat, and then you got a team that's playing good defense with them. They're above and beyond. They're gonna be obviously a hassle. Just for their name alone, Golden State, they're already a problem, and then you got good defense on top of that, man. There's Shump did a really good job. I know he's made some trades or whatever in the preseason that's, I don't know, having some issues with or something. But overall, he's doing a great job, man. Keep it up. I think it's his first time ownership, and so we'll see where he goes from here. But I honestly don't see them falling at all. I feel like they'll be number 1 at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep Golden State at the top, especially with Shump running them. Your thoughts on this, Revolves? What are your thoughts on Golden State at that number 2 spot?
Well, it's not a surprise. Those are gonna be, in my opinion, first or second, just because the Warriors are just so dominant. They have a good squad, like what James Smith said. The thing is, why they're probably at second is because Shump is having, I heard, a bit of problems trying to find a Durant for his line. His other line with shots is looking great. I think that they have a burden on their shoulders that they don't want to lose with the Warriors and become the first team to lose with the Warriors. So They are going to try their best not to. With such a great team like the Warriors, I don't think it will be hard to lose much.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be them for sure in the playoffs. Clippers going to the playoffs and just waiting for that upset, in the playoffs. I that's what I'm waiting for with the Warriors because they will do great in the season and they have the great players for it. So just looking forward to playoffs
And
already.
Shump came through and he said, I'm pretty sure Shump was the one that took the L on this. And I remember seeing him, I think, in the owner's chat saying something that he will not lose another game. So that's something to look out for in the future. That he said it. He said he won't lose another one. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes, and let's see if he can keep up with that.
Yeah, I mean, what I like to see this season, and you said it at the beginning of the season, preseason actually, you said that the roster seemed most equal out. I like the fact that we ended season without anybody being undefeated and just having a dominant force. I like the fact that and maybe it's inside, but I like the fact that Golden State slipped up a little. The fact that our next team right here, the Los Angeles Clippers, holding that number 1 spot up 2 spots. I like the fact that they performed well this week, and it really says a lot about how whether it's the new roster, whether it's the owners that we have in place. I don't know, or not. I'm sorry, not the new roster, but the new salary cap situation. Whether it's the owners that we have in place, something is really I think took to the next level here. But let's talk about this number 1 team, the Los Angeles Clippers. I almost called Golden State number 1 as well. Can they hold at the number spot there, number 1 spot? They're up 2 spots. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think we would be last year, and I was laughing when I was doing this because last year Minnesota took that number 1 spot the first week because we didn't do preseason rankings. It's the first year we've done. Took the spot at number 1, and they didn't let up all season. They owned that number 1 spot. So
you're talking about Miz and G.
Mizark
right.
and G. Yep. No,
yeah.
I'm sorry, did I say
You're
somebody
saying
else?
they, but
oh yeah,
you
Mizark
said they
I'm
when
sorry.
there's only 2 of them really.
King Mizark, his team, I should say, him as an owner. Whether G's there or not, I mean, let's be honest. G's his brother. It's GM is just a convenient. I mean, I don't expect G to do anything but make shitty memes about me. So King Mizark put together a solid team looking at the roster. We said at the beginning of the season, I don't think they're going to do what they did last season. Although they're kind of proving us wrong. Can they hold that number 1 spot? He held it all last season from week 1, just like week 1 he took it here, which this is the power rankings that matter. Do you think he could hold this number 1 spot throughout the rest of the season? Revolves?
Before I start on the Clippers,
Miz is my boy, one of the owners I do respect in the league. G-Money, great player. I do respect him as well.
Absolutely.
But with the injuries that happened with the Clippers, with Chris Paul out for 6 to 8 weeks, and Blake Griffin a weirdo. You never know when the hell he's going to come back. I did hear it's like 1 or 2 weeks that is left with Blake. So that's like, what, week 3 or something approximately?
Yep.
So they got about 1 or 2 more weeks without Blake and no Chris Paul, having Jamal Crawford at the 1. Now, that's terrible for defense, and he already knows that. We've talked about it because guarding people like Curry or Lillard or Westbrook
who are
just so dominant.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It's going to suck to guard them. And that's going to be terrible as well because Chris Paul, he has great defense. He could shoot. And also about Chris Paul is he could throw dimes. So when you got someone like Crawford, he could throw good passes, but he's not no Chris Paul. It's going to suck. And to get the passes like to DeAndre, to Redick, as good as Chris Paul. So I do think they will fall. I don't know how much because they still are a good team, but that's just my opinion.
I have a huge shout out before I go over, only because the Truth JGW played 2 games, has 2 game stats in at JJ Redick, and he's averaging 25 points at a 500K player. I always go, well, 10 points a game, you've earned your money at 500K easy. You're adding to, you're playing your role, you're doing what you need at a 500K player. But at a 500K player to have 25 points a game, and he's shooting like ridiculous, like 90% or 80%, ridiculous shot percentage right now. He has JJ Redick, yes, but absolutely amazing. I wanted to shout out before I moved to get your thoughts, Texas James, at them at number 1. I know King Mizark's been on the show once, and a shout out to King Mizark as self-proclaimed underground EBA guy. What are your thoughts at Clippers at number 1?
I'll say this, man, and I'm gonna catch a lot of shit for this, but I have to say that I think that Miz and G might be the best owner GM duo, not as of just straight skill on the floor, because I mean, if we're just talking about skill, it'd probably be JT and Fab, but best owner and GM duo that we might have ever seen as of the owner can get the guys that they need to win, do it on a regular with the Timberwolves, coming through with the Clippers, no Blake, still holding number one spot over Golden State. And G putting in work. I mean, even this week, I mean, we were looking at players of the week and stuff, and G was right there with points, and he had great rebounds and great steals, and it was such. I mean, it's just. I mean, they're such a good one too that it's crazy. Mizark has done a great job, man. Again, once again, and I said it sometime last season that I won't doubt Miz no more. Never again. So whatever he decides to do, I feel like it's Bill Belichick. It doesn't matter what he does. He's gonna do it. And he's gonna win with it. So they're going to be one or two, maybe three at the least, but I don't see them falling any lower than that, man. With Chris Paul, without Chris Paul, with Blake, without Blake, as long as Miz and G is there, and Miz gets to pick the guys that he wants to pick to on his team, he's going to be at number one. And on the contrary, G Money said that Truth was Wesley. And he told me to
Truth was
correct you with
Wesley.
that.
Definitely correct me.
Yes.
He's killing it with Wesley then. 2 games.
But I think those two guys
still.
are absolutely just killing it, and I hope they decide to stick around and be owner GM for a very long time, because iron sharpens iron. They're gonna make everybody in this league better, and all these owners need to realize, especially that Raptors owner that's over there, needs to take notes, pull his little notepad out, and realize what greatness is, and that they will most definitely probably stay at number one here.
Okay, so I got another one here. Inglewood made me another 500K player, 17.5 current season average. He played 4 games. So again, another 500K player making intelligent smarts, 9 for 11, 7 for 12, 8 for 13. I mean, making intelligent shots and still putting up those numbers. That, I mean,
I like
doing
that guy.
double job. I don't know the guy. I'm just saying I was going
I
through
don't
the
know the
roster
guy
here,
either.
looking at 500K, and I'm going, okay, White Ice Fresh. He's putting up decent numbers. Look at this. Truth's putting up good numbers. I mean, that's solid for that team. That's really good. And I could tell you, with the point guard going down, with
Definitely.
number 3 going down, it's Chris Paul. It's definitely going to hurt. It's going to hurt them. But if those guys can continue to step up, I think they'll be just fine.
I mean, Inglewood will always have a spot in my heart for that I demanded to trade the Minnesota Timberwolves thing. He sent me that one time.
Oh yeah.
He'll always have a spot in my heart. Oh yeah, I love that guy for that. At least he made my day.
So let's talk a little bit about Player of the Week. We talked before pre-show. We always have a nice little pre-show and discuss, but I think we were hands down. Give me the EBA Western Conference. I think we all agreed that the Western Conference Player of the Week goes to.
Get it, boy.
I would absolutely agree with that.
Get it, boy, because he definitely went out there, got it this week. I'm trying to pull up the stats here, so I'm trying to stall here for a second. But he went out and balled out, helped the Grizzlies come through with a lot of wins, including, as we now know, the win over Golden State. So that's obviously gonna boost his thing. Being at a lot of downs for Melo, fed under the paint, which is really gonna help him out in the Player of the Week. And his points, he pulled in his damn it, there it goes, 135 points, 4 games played, all 4 at center. Got 135 points, 50 rebounds, 13 assists, 9 steals, and finishes with 10 blocks. Has a great field goal shooting percentage to go along with all that. So he did say when I did my preseason MVP predictions, he did say, if I do not quit, I think I will be a lock for MVP. So
is that really a thing?
I'm just saying.
Okay. I
agree
with that.
I'm just saying he said it, and he's living up to it. The man's bringing buckets, rebounds, all that good stuff, and so I mean he's killing it right now.
Well, the guys that I've played with in the past, Let's Get It Boy was on one of the. He quit, but he quit because of the situation of them running into Pro-Am, and then they lost, and it really pissed him off, and he just quit playing 2K altogether. Like all the money leagues, everything, he's just done.
Yeah, he'll vanish.
So so hopefully they don't lose in the Pro-Am, or for whoever's going against them, probably hoping they do. I hope they don't, because I'd like to have the guys like Champ and the Space Jam boys that are hanging around. I like them in my league, and I wish them the best at winning it all. But talking with Fab and talking with Shump, last year when I was on Shump's team, this year I'm on Fab's team, they both agree that Ramo is one of the best, otherwise known as Let's Get It Boys, one of the best big men that's ever played 2K. Period. They think he's on one of the best Pro-Am teams that's ever played. He comes in the league. He's playing a spot that I honestly wasn't sure he would dominate at, and he's dominating. So big ups to him, definitely. Do you have anybody else that you could think of in the West that could compete with it over there? Revolution revolves.
Good try.
Other than Let's Get It Boy, who balled out, Chump did do great with Curry. Who else? Dimes, I heard, had. I didn't.
Yeah.
I
G.
completely forgot stats. I heard he did great. G Money did great. There's a lot of people who did great, but out of everyone with a 4-0 record and killing with Marc Gasol, have to go with Let's Get It Boy for sure.
Definitely. And big ups to Mello B. Ballin. I mean, he's going to be on the show tonight, but we went a different direction, and he's been feeding the big man. So talk about the job to have. You just sit back and feed the big man. In the East, who do you have as leading?
There was some discussion about this one for a slight second, but we're gonna go with the real Uncle Drew. He's been playing well. 113 points, 17 rebounds, 23 assists, 13 steals, 4 blocks. Pretty good shooting percentages to go along with that. It was close, but he definitely gets the player of the week on the East side.
Yeah, I mean, playing the small forward, and he does have a decent small forward, but I think he's hard to play with, but that's just me personally. 113, 17, 23, 13. I mean, those are pretty solid double digits for the first half. I know that you wanted to shout out Mike Mann because he's right there with him in arguments with 47 assists and 108 points. So I'm going to let you shout out Mike Mann there because he's your boy, and that has to happen. But,
of course, man. Not only because he's my boy, because he has some great stats.
He does. He has some really good stats there. Of course, I mean, we gotta mention, by any means, Mo. He's up there at 107, and Fab's up there at 103. Of course, he's the West, but by any means, Mo 107, Doumbia at 99 points. But anybody else you could think of that you think will make a surprise player of the week appearance in the East, since you're over there, Rev?
So for next week?
Yeah, maybe. It might show up next week, might show up 2 weeks down the road. Who do you think is going to surprise, going to show up in there at the Players of the Week spot in the East?
Honestly, I'm not even, man. I'm not saying this because I'm the owner of this team, but
don't do it.
I think people
don't do it.
I'm just gonna say it just because fuck everything else. I'm gonna say people to look out for is Corrupted trying out PG. He did just have 2025 with Larry against the team, and Doumbia and Rush is on DeRozan.
Yeah, I expect to see Doumbia and Corrupted up there. If I'm not arguing for them to have a spot, they're not doing their jobs over there, and I think they would agree with me on that. For them to have a spot for the Player of the Week. So those are the Players of the Weeks. We're going to move on real quick and go to our bro moment. And I have a wonderful picture of Ice Cube, like he does, saying, bro, like, what the hell's going on? I want to start out on this one because I have a couple things I want to point out. First of all, I'm going to go league, and then I'm going to go personal bro moment. And bro is, for those of you that are new listening, bro is like, what the fuck, bro? Like, bro. My bro moment,
bro,
what the hell's going on? That's more of a West Coast kind of bro, but like bro, like anyway. My first, right off the bat, is forfeits in week 1, dude. There's a lot of training camp guys that beg for a spot. Owners, I beg you, plead you, if you're having problems with guys, send them down, get them off your team, or blacklist them, move them, whatever you need to do. If they're not showing up, get them the fuck out the league. You got guys that are in training camp. I know, spending season 3, I think it was, on training camp, season 1 on training camp, first season on training camp. I'm ready to play every night. Like, you hit me up, I'm there, whatever. These guys signed up. They know when the games are. They know when their availability is. They give their availability. If they can't show up or they don't show up for whatever reason, then obviously they're not taking the league seriously. Get them the fuck out. Get somebody in that wants to play. I know A.O. Mark. I know, a few other guys in training camp. Sorsey, for instance, he's constantly saying, "Give me my shot, team." They want to play. Give them a shot, man. There's no reason we should be forfeiting 2 games in the first week. I know shit happens, but make some moves. Show the league that your name doesn't matter, that we're just trying to show up, be active, be competitive every week. That's my first bro moment. I'm going to send it around and come back and talk about my second bro moment. Texas, give me your bro moment of the week for week 1.
My bro moment of the week is the 2K. Bruh. Can we please get some fucking servers on this piece? Because this shit this week was terrible, man. All week we had to deal with, we have to get in the lobby, then we have to leave the lobby, we have to invite them. Oh shit, they didn't make it into the loading screen to pick your players. Send out the invite, get in that lobby, start the game up. Oh shit, this guy didn't make it. All week we had to deal with this. So, bruh, 2K, get your shit together. NBA Live looking hella good right now.
I'm actually, the company I'm working for is doing models for them right now, so that's pretty badass. Anyway,
Hey,
moving on to, so I mean, they still, I believe, plan on releasing sometime this year 2K17, which by that time will be 2K18. Or live 17, 18. Anyway, moving on. Revs, what is your bro moment for week 1? Bro.
I'm gonna have to say the Thunder falling apart just because Trainers boys have rocked with them for every season. No one bids on them because they are funny, but they joke around a lot. No one bids on them, and then week 1 comes, they all just wanted to leave him because I heard because they didn't like how Trainer played on Westbrook and they didn't have stars. So I'm gonna have to say that because that shit sucks.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
shitty
funny.
if that's the
That shit
case. I didn't
sucks.
know that, but that's pretty shitty if that's the case.
It's funny because every season, last season, this season, there's always that time where every one of Trainer's boys is like, I demand a trade. Then like 2 hours later, oh wait, never mind. I take it back. I'll stick it out. And it's funny, we go through it every year, and I'm just waiting for him to come through this year. It's just a matter of time. But it's funny. But you 100% head on with that. It's kind of crazy how the Thunder is just taking a crash, man. That's pretty nuts.
My bro moment is more of a personal bro moment matter instead of an EBA bro moment matter. But for some reason, my owner, we get into a party and my owner says, "Hey, dude, look at these memes. They're all over the chat." And it's a fat dude walking into a court. And they're like Fab and Ice. And it's the guy from Space Jam. And it's like, G made this, huh? And all the motherfuckers that were laughing about it, this is what I have to say. It didn't really bother me. I laughed and played the game, and I was really wanting to whoop because it's right before the G Money game, and I really wanted to beat them. It came down to the 4th with 2 points, and we missed the dunk in order to not go into overtime. So it was a close game, but I really wanted G Money because I was going to then send him a meme of the L and say, "Here, hold this," and stop making memes and work on your game. But bottom line is this: out of everybody that's laughing and joking about that situation, I'm gonna let y'all put y'all all on notice right now. I didn't go to Fab. I'm not one of you guys that go, "I want to play with Fab. If I don't play with Fab, I'm gonna cry." Hey, I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that wants to play with Fab. Fab came to me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna put you on my line."
Oh shit.
So I'm not saying I'm good or great or whatever, but I fit in whatever role that he has. I'll show up and play. I'll play my game. I'll do the best I can play. And I'm not the best player out there, but I'm not running and sucking on his nuts. Just so we're clear, I'm not saying he's sucking on mine, but I'm not over there talking to Fab, changing my name to Fab, or talk about I want to be on Fab's line. I don't want Fab to carry me. I want to play and do my role and help my team win. So yeah, I might be showing up, whatever, and playing on his line, and he can carry me or whatever else. But the bottom line is this, and this is my bro moment. Bro, I didn't go to Fab. They came to me. Just like they got me season 2, they got me season 3. Why do you think they're getting me? Is other owners sleeping on me? I don't know. But bottom line is this: I'm playing, and I'll show up to play every game. So that was my bro moment, and a call out.
Because Stone Cold said so.
because I said so. That's why. New beginnings. Let's talk trade rumors because we're running out of time so
he
quickly.
said Fab came to me.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It irritated me that I'm reading this like I'm over here begging Fab to play. I'm the fat kid in the corner, in which I'm not fat, But anyway, I'm a fat kid in the corner going, "Hey, can I play on your team, please, Fab? Will you put me in, coach?" No, that's not the case. Just so you clear, Fab says, "Hey, you go cheap. I want you on my line because you do work. For $500K, I'm worth my money, I guess." So call it what you will, say what you may. Bottom line is this: he came to me. I didn't go to him. So all you guys crying and whining, you were the ones coming to him. I want to play on your line, or laughing at the whatever. Anyway, trade rumors. Let's move on because we're running out of time so quick. It's already 20 minutes over. New beginnings, trade rumors. Let's talk trade rumors. I'm gonna start with Revolves because he probably knows what's going on over there. No?
Oh, trade rumors?
Yes, give me trade rumors.
Sorry, I have my mic muted.
That's all right.
I was sitting there laughing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have my mic muted.
I'm not in the NBA chat, and I don't want to be in the NBA chat because it's just a bunch of clowns anyway, and none of that shit bothers me. So whatever. But
King John said, "Let me find out Ice is Fab's dad."
I don't know about all that. Talk trade rumors. Move on. Talk trade rumors. Go.
Well, I heard King John got traded for Dimes. Dimes is now in the Celtics, and King John will be playing Steven Adams for JT, which is why I think that line would be great because Steven Adams and Westbrook, who could do good together. I'm not saying JT will kill because I need to see it first, but he could possibly do it. So I think that's a great ass trade right there. And another trade is Fredo Wavy for Eastern, which is something I gotta see in the season. I can't really tell from there. He gets to play with Fab though.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that trade happened. I heard in the rumors that trade was gonna happen. Eastern played really well game one, and then I could already tell he was checked out, ready to go play with his boys. So, not his fault. He didn't ask for the trade. It just happened to go that way. But I gotta say this to King John, just throwing out there, false prophets or whatever he is. That's still the right guy, right? He probably wanted off Boston because he's only averaging 8.75 points. So hopefully, he can go over and play his role and do better. I wish the best for him this season because not looking where he wants to be, I'm sure, at Boston. Any trade rumors from you, Mr. Texas James Smith?
I got one. I heard Figgy was on the move. Fig, ain't that right, Rolls?
I completely forgot I made that trade.
We got an owner in here, and you don't even know. I might have traded him.
I'm not even lying. I completely forgot I made that trade. Like, it's not even relevant because
who did you trade Fig for?
I traded Leon over there to Thunder because I wanted Leon to play somewhere because he was gonna make him a starter, and I was getting sick of seeing Leon just sitting in TC. So he gets a starter spot now.
So you traded Mr. Leon
he
for
can't
Fig.
play, bro. He can't play.
And Fig can't play.
He can play. Bullshit. He can play. He's just very inactive. Like he's unreliable.
Talk to him, man.
I have talked to him. That's why I know, son. I have talked to him.
Go ahead. You right, bro.
He's hiding.
He's unreliable, man. I like Fig. Fig's my boy. Everybody knows. We have a connection that I don't even want to bring up again. But
he rattles
Fig's
your world.
My dude.
I'm with you. Yeah. Go.
Yeah. I said we didn't want to bring it up.
Oh,
again,
sorry,
man.
I brought that up.
He rattles your world.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I mean,
Fig is a monster big man for if he actually shows up and plays.
When
for
you step out your room, James, you feel the floor shaking when you see Fig?
I do. Why don't you send him over to Cleveland so I can experience that again?
Oh shit! They'll give you Sourcey fair up trade right there. That's a fair.
There you go, Sourcey for Figgy, man. What's up?
Done. Look at talking trade rumors during trade rumor segment. Is that all we got for trade rumors? That's it.
That's it, man.
I figured there'd be a lot more moves. There's no moves that are done and sent through.
There might be more, but I gotta say, man, my boys, King John and Woody, they on top of the game. I ain't gotta step in as much as I did last season. Because like last season I had to do the trades. I had to help with all this other stuff, and so I had to do it like ASAP as soon as I could. And so I know a lot more. But this year I can just I facilitate a little bit more than I had to in the past. So I can just be like, yo, look, we need to do this and then get this done and make all this happen. And my guys take care of it. I'm super proud to have these guys on my staff, man. They're great dudes, and I have no complaints from them right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that you have a solid staff that actually does work this time around. So, as always, shout out to the EBA staff. Anything else? New beginnings? Any new beginnings?
I just want to give a couple shout outs to the people that have asked for it because they are sick as fuck. Shout out to Code Boy Han. Shout out to Mr. Leon. Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean. Shout out to Mr. Leon. Gotcha. Anything else you want to add? Is that it? Is that you good there?
There might be more later, but I just wanted to bring those out now.
Okay. He's shouting out to Mr. Leon because it might be his funeral here soon, going over to OKC. I appreciate you taking one for the squad.
Oh, wow. Ow. Okay, so as always, it's getting late. Let's move along here. There were an hour, 30 minutes. 30 minutes always. We seem to always go over anymore. Our hour show is now. Luckily, we don't have like strict timing. We would be over all the time. But a big shout out to Mags. Or not, he has got some real good moving going on the Twitch, and anybody that has been watching from Twitch or not Twitch, I'm sorry, Twitter. Yeah, I can't even get it right. Twitter. He's got a lot of followers on Twitter. Like this week, we had a ton of followers.
If you are from Twitter, hit us up in the chat box right now. Let us know how many people we got over here. Type in the little message box underneath or on the Twitch to the right. Whichever way you're watching this, YouTube or Twitch, let us know you here, man. We like seeing new guys come in. Come visit us on Eliteteamplay.com, man. We love
2 new signups.
Love having new guys
off of Twitter. Yeah, we got 2 new signups. Man. That's why I said shout out.
I saw Mags. The Cypher signed up too.
The Cypher signed up, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Shout out to the Cypher. He's an old soul. I don't know if he could play, but he's still welcome back. Also,
dip talent.
Thanks to the guys that are shot. Actually, I'm running something new this season. This for our show. It's called, and I almost completely forgot. I told him to make sure it's ready to have it up, and I didn't even talk about it. That's how big of a douchebag I am. We're running something called Weekly Card Challenge. What happens is the players get nominated. We did this one season. It worked out pretty well. People beg for it to come back. Outtaker. Big shout out to Outtaker's put this out there. The way that it works, if you're not familiar, you go in and it's a way to kind of play with your EC a little bit. You put money on a player that you think are going to hit the stats for them, and you get money back, your silver back. So what happens is you go in, you buy this card. There's only 15 cards per, so there's only 15 chances for you to win it. Please only go in and buy one. Let everybody else in the league to get some. But they have this week. We have Mike Man, who has a bronze card challenge. Average 24 points, 13 assists, and 3 steals this week. If he can do that, you can make an easy extra 2 silver coins, make 4 silver coins. G Money.
You already know I'm about to get some coins.
G Money is our. Let me go with silver first. The real Uncle Drew's got our silver card challenge. Average 28 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists from the Pacers. There, that could be an easy 8 silver challenge. So you can turn around and get 8 easy 8 silver by spending 4 silver. And the big one, which is 6 silver, you can get 12 silver back, is the gold challenge, which is G Money. If he can average 25 points, 15 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game, and that's averaging. It takes the total averages for that week only. An Outtaker will be handling all the payouts, everything. I'm not dealing with it this season. So you can go in, and they're under the Pro Shop. You go into Pro Shop, you go into what the EBA promotions and weekly card challenge, and you're able to go in, view the offer of that challenge, and see the card. You can actually purchase it. I can't because I'm not signed in at the moment, but you can click here where it says purchase that card. So I wanted to do a quick shout out on that. I completely forgot about it to this last minute. Huge. We got the playoff system in place. We're going to test it this season, so that's there. That's why we've had a couple issues with like the standings are messed up. Those are going to be fixed. We turn those in. So some big things are changing here in the EBA or in the EliteTeamplay.com. But this is EBA Tonight. Any last thing you want to say, Rev? Thanks for being on the show. Appreciate it. Anything you want to shout out, say, anything you need to go before we head off?
Thank you first of all for having me on the show. It was dope. I kind of said 3 of my shoutouts already. I just wanted to anything else. I don't know, man. I think I'm good for now. I just want to shout out James for
Thank you.
being Mike's #1 fan and a great commish.
He was saying
It's not-
thank you before he even knew what he was
I
gonna
I
say.
appreciate it, man. At least somebody knows my hustle.
You could have been like, thank you for whatever. That's messed up. Go ahead.
And yeah, I guess I'm good for now.
I just enjoy my shout outs, man, regardless.
That's not,
Could have been like trainer and just been like the proud fucking most likely to give teammates a hand job award winner. Like
he
nah.
could have been anything, and you would have been like, yeah, I got this.
I'm like, yeah, I appreciate that, man. At least someone's seeing the hustle, man. At least somebody's seeing the hustle. I want to shout out to my peeps, my Mike, man, my dude, #1, man, #1 in my heart always. He's doing his thing out there in Cleveland.
You're gonna win that award again this year, man. You gotta
Hey, it's
stop.
cool, man.
It's
cool. That's fine with me, man. As long as my team knows I love them. We gonna win this damn thing this year. And you know what? I'm gonna tell my team, man, just hang in there. We had a little rough week this week, but it's gonna turn around like it always does. We're about to make that happen.
For me, it's always the same shout outs. Thank you to Mish, staff,
Thank you, sir.
to my guest here tonight, Mr. Revs. Appreciate it, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it, bro.
And also to the Texas James Smith, the commish.
Mm-hmm.
Always appreciate you co-hosting the show with me. Also, thanks to the guys. I
100%,
actually
man.
had like 4 or 5 people want on this show, so I mean that's great. Hit me up, let me know. Mello be ballin'. Shout out to you. Thanks for hitting me up earlier in the week. And it really depends on how we schedule out the show. We actually spend an hour before talking about what we're going to talk about, and then I spend the week, putting together graphics and shit like that. So the new people listening, big shout out. Appreciate you guys listening. As always, from everybody here at EBA and for everybody here at EliteTeamplay.com, thank you for listening, and see you next week.
God bless you all, man. Be safe.
Yeah.
Revolves. Now, I know you like talking shit, man, but when we get on the show, you ain't gotta think you're better than us. Okay? You already know. You already know what's gonna happen. And I appreciate you trying to reel in views, acting like you're better than us. Cool, but you know what? You could tell the people the truth. If you want to go ahead and say something right now, you can. Nobody's listening.
He knows we carry it over.
Why you gotta go ruin it? Why you gotta go ruin it?
He watches the show. He knows we carry it over after the closing.
You don't know. I mean, if you'd have just left it, you never know what might have happened.
I could have.
You never know what might have happened.
I probably just got myself traded talking shit. That's probably the real thing there.
He would have told all these people that we're better than him because he knows this.
Oh, I doubt he would have said that.
Oh, he would have. But now that he knows all these people listening, he ain't gonna say it. Should have heard us earlier before the show. He was like, "Yo, y'all better than us." I was like, "I know, dude. This is cool. We just had to slip up."
I don't think that's a real thing.
I'm pretty sure that's what he said. That's what I heard anyway. I don't know.
He's not even here. Did he already leave? He probably left. He's like, I'm out.
He's probably like, damn, James trying to tell these people the truth. I better get the fuck out of here.
He's gone. He's not even
He's like, I better get the fuck out of here. I would have had him, damn it. I would have had him. He just straight did. He was done. He was like, I'm tired of listening to this shit.
Not a bad show. I mean, I've got to figure out my sound thing because we went to Skype and it messed up my sound, so I've got to mess with that shit a little more. I really want to use this new headset, but it's starting to cause issues, so I don't know. Anyway.
Right. Well, I'm about to go buy this #1 Mike Man fan card.
All right. Take care.
All right, my brother. God bless you, man.
Yep.
I don't even know how to hang this shit up.
I got you.